I don't know how other people feel about this card, but I just do not think this card has any pop or any hype. Personally, for me, Jack, please get the belt off this man, please. Yeah, we got UFC 315 this weekend, another mid pay-per-view in 2025, courtesy of the UFC, headlined by Belal Forget the Name Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. And was this necessarily a deserved title shot by Jack Della Maddalena? No. I think that Jack Della Maddalena needed one more big fight, which was originally supposed to be the Leon Edwards fight, before entering the title conversations. But he has not lost a UFC fight yet in his career. And for Belal Muhammad, this would be his first title defense. He's coming off the win versus Leon Edwards at UFC 304. And yeah, taking place in Montreal, Canada. The UFC always doing Canada dirty. But you have two title fights on here. You got Valentina Shevchenko on here versus Manon Fiorot. Then you got old man Jose Aldo being fed to another confusing matchmaking. Like, why not just give Jose Aldo fun fights that actually are in his favor, man? So, yeah. And then Alexa Grasso. You got two women's fights on the main card. Like, how down bad is that? You got two women's fights on the main card. And then opening up the card is Benoit Denis, who I've been saying his name wrong, versus Yoel Alvarez. Maybe a couple standout prelims. But let's start with the main event, right? Belal Muhammad, I need this guy to lose the belt at all costs. It just makes me sick to see this guy as a champion in 2025 of the welterweight division. And I don't care who it is, but I just need somebody to get the belt off this man. And if Jack Della Maddalena is the first one up to do it, then go ahead, Jack. Let's go. Please, I'm begging you, get the belt off this man. The best ideal thing I could see is Jack Della Maddalena piecing up Belal Muhammad on the feet and knocking him out. And that would be such an incredible thing to see. But right now, Belal, of course, is a very heavy favorite. He's just all around. Got to give him his props when it's due. He's just a good all-around fighter, right? He does all the right things. He doesn't care if you like his style or how you like it. He's going to do his grappling style, his wrestling. Showed some elevated striking on the feet in his Leon bout. And Belal Muhammad's probably the most disrespected champion, which I wouldn't advocate for him to be respected, because I do not like Belal Muhammad, but he has been disrespected as a champion. Like Daniel Cormier accidentally pronouncing Leon Edwards as the winner instead of Belal in their fight. And then Belal Muhammad at 310 when the security didn't know who he was. And Joe Rogan's like, let him in. He's the champ when he went to go face in with Shavkat. This guy has received some disrespectful stuff in his first title reign. But I'm really hoping that Jack Della Maddalena does this. And for Jack Della Maddalena, I have not seen this guy fight except for the Gilbert Burns fight, to be honest with you. That was the only fight I've seen Jack Della Maddalena fight live, and that was versus Gilbert Burns in Miami. That was the last time we saw him in March of 2024, so it's been over a year. So he was dealing with an injury, so people were always asking, where's Jack Della Maddalena? Where's Jack Della Maddalena? I guess Jack Della Maddalena is one of the hidden treasures of the welterweight division that a lot of people like. Notable wins also in his resume, in his streak right now, are Kevin Holland and Randy Brown. And yeah, he has not lost in the UFC, which I had to watch a couple of clips on Jack Della Maddalena to really understand where his skills are, how he fights. He had a great fight with Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns, wasn't getting taken down easily, but in the end, Jack Della Maddalena did finish him with some nasty elbows, and that was a really impressive performance by Jack. But again, I think that Jack Della Maddalena was one more fight away from then a deserved title shot. I did not think that he was necessarily deserving of this, but he's very quickly been thrown in this title opportunity, so got to make it work. It was supposed to be Shavkat. We've waited 2 pay-per-views for this to happen. Couldn't happen at 310. Now it couldn't happen at 315. So they put in Jack. Jack was originally supposed to fight Leon Edwards, which was also an amazing fight. I thought the perfect fight for both of them. So a little bit of a premature title shot, in my opinion, for Jack Della Maddalena, but he's here now. So just got to ride with him. And I might even play the reverse psychology game where I'm like, you know what? Let me just bet on Belal Muhammad. And okay, if Belal Muhammad wins, I'll win some money. But if he loses, I'm happy that I lost money, because that means that he no longer gets the belt. That's how much I don't like Belal Muhammad. But yeah, and Belal Muhammad, look at his resume. It was hard to deny him. to fight Leon Edwards. The UFC, he's just one of those fighters that the UFC is not looking forward to giving a title shot to. It's like you put Movsar, Magomed Ankalaev, and Belal all in the same category. These guys, UFC does not want to push them because they end up getting the title shot and take away our entertaining champions. He had this 6-fight win streak, including Stephen Thompson, Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns, Leon Edwards. Like Belal, very impressive. And that was all after the no contest with Leon with that eye poke where Belal was crying on the floor. So yeah, Belal Muhammad was on this huge win streak. It was just, you couldn't deny him any longer. It would really be like a disgrace to the sport at that point if you did. He was definitely the next guy up to really get it. But yeah, so I really, really hope that Jack Della Maddalena somehow could do it this weekend. But on paper and how the fight really will play out is that Belal Muhammad is just better in every area. He's just he's a much better, well-rounded fighter. Again, I haven't seen Jack Della Maddalena. We haven't seen him as of recently. Maybe he's actually pretty big. He's not as small as I thought. He's pretty big. And he's good in size on a welterweight. I hope that he won't let Belal Muhammad bully him on the ground and he'll be able to keep it up on the feet. Because Jack Della Maddalena seems to have some really good boxing, some really good combinations that he could throw, some straight jabs down the pipe. I'm hoping he can knock Belal Muhammad with some of those. This really just doesn't have much hype to it, but they got to keep the welterweight division moving. And yeah, Belal Muhammad, forget his name quickly. I hope he goes on a Tony Ferguson downfall. Okay? Yeah, not trying to hate too much on him, but I really I like to see the layout of champions be all these exciting and the best some of the best possible fighters. And Belal Muhammad, yeah, he's not entertaining. I just don't like Belal, right? Like most people. But yeah, please, Jack, please get the belt off this man, please. And then you got Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Now, Valentina Shevchenko coming off the win versus Alexa Grasso, who is also on the card at UFC Noche. And Valentina Shevchenko was a champion, and then she lost. So yeah, you look at this. She had the draw with Grasso, and then they closed it out with the trilogy. So that was pretty crazy. And then, yeah, before that, just a big win streak. Valentina Shevchenko is one of the premier women's fighters that we have in the UFC. And hopefully the most ideal situation we could have for women's MMA is that Valentina Shevchenko wins this, and then you have Zhang Weili beat Vernan Jandiroba, who just won on UFC 314. And hopefully those women can meet for a women's super fight that would actually be kind of intriguing, that people are okay, two very dominant women's champions, both dominating their divisions. And I want to see those two fight. I would actually really be interested in that kind of, make that a co-main event also under another title fight. That'd be a women's super fight. So that's the next step for women's MMA right now in the UFC. That could be possibly hype. But right now, Valentina Shevchenko has Manon Fiorot. And listen, I don't know much about Manon Fiorot, but she's got she's 12-1. Who was her last opponent? You look at it. She beat Blanchfield, Rosa Namajunas. So pretty much has not lost in her UFC run. Tabitha Ricci. Yeah, Manon Fiorot seems like a good women's matchup. But yeah. Who would I have in this pick? I'm going to rock with Valentina Shevchenko because I want to see I want to see a super fight between her and Zhang Weili. And then you got Jose Aldo versus Aiemann Zahabi. Jose Aldo, the legend, one of the greatest featherweights of all time. And obviously he's not ever getting to prime form anymore. But again, a lot of people are were puzzled when this got announced with Aiemann Zahabi, because why are you giving Jose Aldo this fight? Why are you giving him Mario Batista, these guys that are just smudge wrestling him and containing him? Jose Aldo is clearly just here for whatever reasons he's still wanting to fight, and he came back from retirement. Obviously wants to make more money, but he's also just give the guy fun fights. Let the guy just showcase for the fans a little bit and give us some stand-up good fights, because he's obviously not going to be a big player in the bantamweight division, right? This guy, he stood in there with some of the best. We all know he got knocked down Conor McGregor back in the day, but he's had one of the greatest resumes in bantamweight history. He's a legend in UFC history. So you don't want to see him like lose to a guy like Aiemann Zahabi. I don't really know how Aiemann Zahabi fights either, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm not familiar with this guy. He's from Canada. He looked like from somewhere else, but Jose Aldo, you look at his resume, man, he's gone through it with all these guys, bro. He lost to Rob. He's beat Martinez, but he's lost to Batista. Batista becomes one of the most hated fighters in the UFC after that performance. Just completely like killing the vibe with that fight. Rob Font, Chito Vera, Peter Yan beat him. The fight with Volk, Moicano, Stevens, Holloway. Like, yeah, Jose Aldo, legend, but why give him this fight with Aiemann Zahabi? So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. Natalia. Oh my gosh. By the way, guys, I do not have a stutter. Like, I know I hesitate a lot on words in my videos, but I do not have a stutter, okay? It's just sometimes get caught on a couple words. That's it. But I am getting better, I think. And Alexa Grasso, hopefully she bounces back from the loss to Valentina Shevchenko after losing the title. Still a very talented women's fighter. So yeah, another women's matchup, you know? Ain't too like hyped about it. Like, is what it is, you know? Had to fill the card out. And then Benoit Saint Denis versus Yoel Alvarez. Now, Yoel Alvarez is probably he's a dark horse lightweight right now. I would like to say that I have very much an eye on this guy. His only notable loss in the recent, his notable losses to Arman Sarukian, really. Like, and this guy just came off a crazy KO versus Close. He held him in position. He kneed him, and then he just put his arm around his neck and started punching him. Like, this guy's a finishing artist. 100% finish rate. All the guys that he's beaten, he's finished. Submission, TKO KO, TKO KO. Right, like I mentioned, he only lost to Arman Sarukian, and we all know that Arman Sarukian right now technically is the number one contender, although he's not getting the next title shot. And Arman Sarukian cut him open bad in that fight. Yoel Alvarez got dismantled and destroyed. And that was a setback, but now he's again on a 3-fight win streak. Before that, also just finishes, subs, KO. This guy has such a great, well-rounded game. I think he's going to be... he's already ranked number 15, but he has so much more potential with Yoel Alvarez. He's sick. He's really sick to me. And I think that he's going to be a really big threat in this lightweight division. But the lightweight division, again, is so loaded. But Yoel Alvarez is a sick fighter with tons of finishing ability. And Benoit Saint Denis, at one point, we all thought he was going to be the next big thing. He was on this big streak. But now he's off 2 straight losses. And the sad reality is Benoit could be 1 or 2 losses away from actually being cut from the UFC if he continues to lose. He got knocked out by Dustin Poirier, was getting... Honestly, Benoit was actually dominating Dustin Poirier in the beginning of that round, of the first round, and most of that fight, the beginning of the fight. But then Dustin Poirier came back and knocked him out. TKO'd, finished Benoit, and then Benoit comes into Paris and gets finished by Renato Moicano. Actually, no, it was a doctor stoppage because Moicano was piecing him up, and then Benoit wasn't able to fight anymore. And this fight is just bad news for Benoit Saint Denis. Yoel Alvarez is just so good everywhere. As I just showed you, he's gotten submissions, KOs, 100% finish rate. He's extremely violent. He has this aura on him for sure. I would say this guy, he's like a Prates, he's like a Taporia. This guy is a sleeper right now, but in the future he could be a really dangerous threat. And I think this fight is going to be a showcase performance for Yoel Alvarez on the main card opener of this card to finish Benoit Saint-Denis. And Benoit Saint-Denis, he could look big. He could look like he's got some big, like big hooks in his shots and everything. But ultimately, I just don't think this goes well for Benoit Saint-Denis. I think Yoel Alvarez continues his rise, and Benoit continues to fall further. So that's my thoughts on Yoel Alvarez versus Benoit Saint-Denis. And I'm picking Yoel Alvarez if that wasn't clear. Mike Malat, you got to put him on here. One of UFC's few Canada prospects, 11-2. He is coming off the win though in his last fight. So yeah, he's on here versus Charles Radke. I think I'm going to go with the hometown guy, Mike Malat, right? Got to go with that guy. Then Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Don't really care about that fight. Now, Modestas Bukauskas and Ion Cutelaba both got wins off the UFC Seattle card. Ion Cutelaba surprised me. He beat Ibo Aslan and finished him in his last fight. I actually picked Ibo Aslan to win. So Ion Cutelaba surprises me, gets a nice bounce back win. And for Modestas Bukauskas, also that kind of put me on notice with him to get the finish on that card as well. So yeah, just another fun, you're getting a fun fight with Ion Cutelaba, who's always passionate, always very dramatic in his fights, puts a lot of hooks and energy, and he's like a Josh Emmett, this guy. Yeah, he's, what do they call him, the Hulk? So this is a nice, fun little brawl to put on the prelims between two guys that got the win on the same card last time around. And who do I got winning? Honestly, I think I'm going to go with Ion Cutelaba. I think Ion Cutelaba will continue his momentum, have a little bit of a Dominic Reyes run here, So rocking with Ion Cutelaba. And then you got Navajo Sterling over here taking on Ivan Erslan. Navajo Sterling won in his UFC debut, so a light heavyweight prospect. And yeah, why pick against the building current of a good prospect? So we're going to go with Navajo Sterling. Navajo, however you say the name. And then for early prelims, yeah, whatever. You got three of them. Marc-Andre Barrios versus Bruno Silva. So yeah, again, an okay card that I'm not really so hyped for. But after this, we're going to start getting some really good cards, some really good pay-per-views in the summer. UFC 316 is actually a lot better than I thought. And then, of course, all the rest that's going to happen. But yeah, 316 is actually looking way better than this for sure. But again, my picks for this card are Yoel Alvarez to finish Benoit Saint-Denis in a violent way. Got Alexa Grasso bouncing back, and then don't really have a preference on this fight, but if I had to guess, it kind of, and I hope deep down that Jose Aldo wins, but from Aiemann Zahabi, I feel like may win. Valentina Shevchenko to defend versus Manon Fiorot, and then Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. I think that Belal's going to win, but I really, really hope that Jack Della Maddalena wins, of course, but I'm a realist. I'm realistic, and it seems like Jack Belal Muhammad is going to defend this weekend. And then we're going to have to see what happens with Islam, and what's happening with his aspirations to move up to welterweight. Will Belal move up? I mean, there's too many killers in welterweight for a champion to just defend one time and move up with the belt. You'd have to vacate it. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on UFC 315. Until next time.